You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show of the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We don't have any new callers today. Why don't we hear from Andy in Pennsylvania?
Hey, Ryan. Andy in Pakistan, Eagles fan. You may not want to hear from me right now, of course.
Right.
Just wanted to say thank you for your after-game therapy. And I'm calling before the Eagles play the 49ers. I'm expecting I might need some of that too soon. Very frustrating. The only word I have is at dark times like this, it's sometimes useful to think about the Dallas Cowboys. And your team and ours have good memories and Super Bowl wins, much more recent than theirs. So, for what it's worth. And hey, look at the Vikings. So, anyway, appreciate your authenticity and have a good off season. And I imagine we will too. See ya.
Absolutely. Could always be worse. Could always be a Cowboys or Vikings fan.
Hey, Ryan, Denver from California. Just taking some time to think about how everything went down and just the events of this season, the events of this regime. And we have Brian Gutekunst. He came in with I don't know if you want to call it a lame duck or whatever you want to call it, but he's got a year with McCarthy. And then, he definitely made this roster his. It's all his kind of guys. Got rid of Jordy and all that stuff. And I don't really blame Gutekunst because he consistently brings guys that are pretty solid. Yeah, he whiffs sometimes on certain things, but it's very rare where he just has somebody that's just flat out like out of the NFL. Like we have a lot of guys that are just solid guys that contribute. So it's like I'm not going to blame Gutekunst. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of high-end hits, but with just the amount of guys this guy brings into our team that are competitive, it's unreal, right? So I'm just like, I got zero problems with Gutekunst. Yeah, there's some things that irk me, but I'm pretty like locked in. You don't hire John or Eric Sullivan like as the Dolphins GM without saying this talent searching group isn't good, right? So.
Sure.
I'm just gonna say, Gutekunst, man, you're doing a good job. All right, I'm not gonna say it's the top three or something, but it's like you're solid, dude. You do a good job. With LaFleur, I feel like there's just some motivation thing or something where it's just because it's just we have. I don't know why. Like I know Aaron Rodgers because he's his own man. He knows how to come back. And he knows how to, like close games and stuff. And like, I'm not saying Jordan doesn't because we've seen him do it a few times, not as consistently, but there's something from a coaching standpoint from the head of the dragon, if you want to call it, that LaFleur, like, I think it's too, and this is the funniest thing. I just think it's too analytical. It's like, it's too X's and O's. And that's the weirdest thing, because it's like, look at the guy who's the best guy right now, Andy Reid. He's all X's and O's. But something about Andy Reid that makes it to where his guys, they show up every time. Hold on. I'm getting cut off.
Part two.
But my whole thing is because Matt LaFleur, he wants us in the right play, right? So he gives us 2 players and everything. Like, the type of football I want, and yes, we should, like, Aaron Rodgers is something about Aaron Rodgers is like, I think that a lot of times when we would get to like a 49er defense or a Tampa Bay defense where just like we had no answers is because every play he's trying to give us that little advantage so we have the best possible thing. But I kind of want it to be where it doesn't matter what the play is. Like, our guys can go out and execute. Like, I'm tired of just having this mentality. It's like where we're going to try to get the edge on this guy. Like, I don't want that. I just want to be able to go out there and like just extend our will on other people, and then not being able to do anything. There's hope. Like, I want us to be we dish out hopelessness for other teams because they have no hope to stop us, and I don't think that's what Matt LaFleur is. He's Mr. like, we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna give you a couple options, and if you want to switch into a better play, that's fine, but these are the 2 plays I'm calling, and just get us in the best look possible, and we're going to run it. It's like, no, the play doesn't matter. That's the thing. It doesn't matter what we run, even if it's the absolute worst look against that defense or the absolute worst against that offense. We have faith that our guys can do it, and it doesn't matter. And I think that's kind of what I want to see. Like, I think Matt can do it. It's a mentality shift. And that's what it's going to take for this team to do it, because they have the X's and O's. And I don't know if that's assistant coaches. I don't know if that's some sort of, you bring a motivational guy in onto the roster, but I think that's what we need, to have somebody who has this unshakable belief that it doesn't matter what we're running. You're going to go out there and you're going to punch somebody in the mouth. So I just, nobody has answers. It sucks, but hopefully these guys can go out there and make a change. And I think all these guys are Pro Bowl caliber guys. It is like he's a Pro Bowl caliber, interior, pressure guy. He's not the best against the run, but him, Elton, Kraft, Parsons, and Zach Tom, they're all up there. So we're going to have talent next year, right? But if these guys don't have belief that they can do it no matter what, it means nothing. So if we can't find it, might as well blow the whole thing up. Go Pack.
There is a part 3 here.
And, dude, it's so frustrating because it's like I'm not going to say Romeo is not a good player, because Romeo is a good player. We see in this game, there's so many times where he gets the catch that converts to third, but then you have the last Bears game where he the ball is just bouncing at his feet, and he doesn't dive for it. He just lets it stay there and just doesn't capture the game. And in this one, it's the final drive and he drops a pass. Yeah, it's probably off just a hair, but it doesn't matter. It's closer than arm's reach, right? You put your arms out all the way out. It's within that arms thing. It's there's just a couple opportunities where we're prioritizing Romeo over Golden, and Golden seems like the guy that every time I think I've seen one time where he's if his time was called, he made a mistake. And yeah, he probably doesn't know, because it's a complex offense, right? But it's we're prioritizing guys, and we already know, I love Romeo and he's having a good year with mentally and everything, but we kind of know he's got some issues. We've seen him last year, and it's we're prioritizing this guy when we have somebody who's known for having grit and known for having this mentality. It's I don't know. To me, that's an issue too. I'm not one of the guys that say, oh yeah, Golden, we have to force Golden. And they're saying no, but just he should be getting targeted or worked in a little more than he is. But I don't know. I'm not trying to make this about that, but it's just everything's on the table. You have all these guys that aren't being like, it's just, there's so many, like, these little small things where it's like, you know, why wasn't Jordan Morgan getting worked in at left tackle? He's a left tackle. You know, maybe if he was getting snaps a lot of time, maybe he was like, Rashid's not even starting because there's a sack that Rashid gives up in this game. Maybe if Jordan Morgan just has the reps at left tackle, he's our starter, and it's just all these little decisions. How we had I think it was Tampa Bay, like all the decisions on the offensive line against Tampa Bay in that playoff game. It's just there's always little decisions where they make the wrong decision, but it's like on the field, none of it matters because when you have to dig deep, they don't. And I don't know if that's a mental makeup or a belief, because I think Jordan's like always, every time he has the ball, I think he can do it. And he believes it. He's always calm. Don't know.
Yeah, and ultimately that's the problem. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It is a mentality issue. And I know a lot of people want to say, well, you can't blame Matt LaFleur. It's like, well, maybe not, but, you know, I don't know that he's the problem, but I do know that he's not the solution. Can put it that way. Even that's a little unfair. I know that he hasn't been the solution, which makes it unlikely that he is the solution. That's the softest way I can put that.
Hi, this is Joe from Marshfield. It's been about... The last time I called was the Giants beating us in London, and Aaron Rodgers was on our team. Oh, my God. And now I have to call again because we lost to the Bears in the playoffs, and I don't know how to handle it, Ryan. I hate the Bears so freaking much. And I want LaFleur gone. I'm going to say what everyone else is saying, and I don't care that I'm part of this group anymore. I've been defending this guy for years, and great play caller, but he just can't get us up to play. We're soft. We're a soft team. Bunch of fake tough guys. That's who we are. Because apparently when your coach manicures his eyebrows and hair as much as he does, your team probably isn't going to be that tough. I just got to say it. If we want a tough guy with eyebrows, we need to get the guy who ran the car wash in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be a good coach. But he was great. I mean, he's going to stay our coach. I know he's not getting fired. I wish he would, but he's not. And but if he were to, he did great. I appreciate everything he has done as a play caller and getting us to, you know, have a fun, creative offense. But my Lord, do we just collapse in these situations, man. We're just so soft. And I don't want us to be soft anymore, especially against the frickin' Bears, because they're the worst. They got the worst fans and the worst jerseys and the worst players, and I hate them. And so heads have got to roll for this. I guess that's my solution. Is someone's got to pay for my suffering. All right. Well, you have a good day.
Trying to think of what to say that isn't the exact same thing, but I mean, again, I'm fine if you want to tell me that nobody's head needs to roll, right? That's fine. Tell me that. But then tell me the solution. Tell me how he fixes it. Tell me how this is going to be different. Because I don't need him to call better plays. I don't need better players. I mean, I'll take either, but I know that that's not the issue. So what are we doing? What's the plan here, folks? We'll take a break. We got AA Ron from Eau Claire.
Hello, this is AA Ron from Eau Claire. I don't know if you or any of the people who follow this podcast listen to or read anything from Tom Silverstein, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, but I think he's one of the more I think he's a very, very good journalist with the Packers because he's very honest.
I agree.
And he doesn't seem to have an interest in just, making up stuff. He's got a compelling article that came out after the game that basically makes the argument that the Packers should move on from LaFleur. Not because he's a bad coach, but because just things have run their course, and he doesn't think that it'll get better, or he thinks they both need to change. So basically, the argument he makes is, LaFleur would easily get another head coaching job somewhere else, and then Packers could, get somebody different in there, and it would be an appealing spot because of all the talent they have. So a week ago, I would have disagreed, but after what we just saw, and then kind of looking at the season, like all of our losses were basically the same formula. Of dominating but not winning, dominating but falling apart at the end, And I do think it would be a good idea for them to explore who's out there that could be just a new approach. So let me know what you think about that later.
Yeah, we went through that. Obviously, you did the whole episode on that situation, so we won't rehash my thoughts on that, I suppose. But I will say, as I've been saying, I think they're going to rehire him. I think they're going to get it figured out, but they need to figure it out soon because we got work to do. Even if we're 100% sure, we still have to get this figured out because there's other things that need to get figured out. We got to figure out the special teams coordinator. Is he staying? Is he going? And if he's going, who are they going to hire? They're going to need to bring people in. They're going to have to do interviews. Matt LaFleur is going to have to be a part of those interviews. Same with defensive coordinator, et cetera, et cetera. You wouldn't start those, I wouldn't assume. Interviews, that is, unless and until Jeff Hafley gets hired away, which is looking like there's a decent chance Miami is that spot. But at least have some meetings about what are we thinking about doing, planning on doing. Whatever. Probably need to get the ball rolling here pretty quick.
All right. It's Aaron again from Eau Claire. And as I was reading some post-game opinion pieces and locker room quotes and stuff like that, I read one from Quay Walker that was basically, he said something like, I know this sort of inability to finish games has been something that was part of this organization before I got here. And that speaks volumes to me. That really is that is brutally honest. And to hear that the players perceive this as a organizational problem, I think is a big deal. I don't know how you coach that out of players. I don't know if it's just maybe players need to be afraid of their jobs being lost, or, need to feel like their coach is it's not that, okay, Matt LaFleur just needs to be more rah-rah, but maybe it's more just the overall attitude, the overall culture of discipline, and somebody that's just an absolute control freak who will not tolerate, certain things or whatever. So to me, what that says to me is perhaps that the Packers, the Packers like a certain type of person, whether it's a player or a coach or a GM. They have traits that they like, and I think that they need to be open to some different kinds of coaches, because I think they just need somebody who's got a little more of an edge. And I think one of the things that I've perceived is that different kinds of coaches are good for different teams in different seasons of what they need. So Matt LaFleur is probably like a perfect coach somewhere right now. You know, like maybe it's a team that struggles with quarterback play. Maybe it's a team that just...
Go on to part 3.
3 minutes got me. But yeah, maybe like LaFleur would be a perfect coach for another team that just needs to get some positive momentum going, and like a stable person, and maybe LaFleur can have a new head coach, fresh start. I know for me as a teacher, sometimes when I've had a tough year or a tough job or a tough thing, that after a while it's like, I just need a fresh start so I can take all the things I learned from and like have new people to like have fresh expectations. I think part of it is just like the players, if they start to feel and believe that this is the nature of their culture, then I think that really needs to change. But I think if LaFleur gets another shot with a different team and can take some of those aspects that he learned from here, I think he could be a good coach in a different system or a different organization. And then I think someone like Harbaugh, who's like, in a way, kind of the opposite. Like, he's much more, I don't know, seems like much more of like a demanding coach or whatever. Like, I'm sure he's still like, beloved by his players and everything. But somebody with a little bit more of like a hard-nosed kind of mentality. I don't know if Harbaugh is that guy, or if if there's another guy out there, maybe someone like Vance Joseph from the Broncos. He's been coaching up great defenses, So I think I'm at the point where I'm ready for a change, and I really hope that I'm not just ready for any change just for change's sake, but I think that there's enough data on what we have at coaching that I think it's warranting some serious consideration. And then finally, with the bad feelings from the game and everything, I just have a challenge for the listeners, and the challenge is go do something nice to somebody to make your spirits lifted, whether that's giving a nice tip at a restaurant or baking cookies for a neighbor. Something good that uplifts.
Well, I'm not trying to be a jag-off, but I think you said in those 3 calls maybe, like 700 times. And all I could think when you were saying it was, yeah, maybe. The point though is like I don't know. I mean, we can theorize and throw around all kinds of crap. Like maybe we need this kind of a coach, or maybe we need to hire some kind of maybe we should hire the mentalist and come in and he'll do like a little magic trick and everyone will be inspired or something. I don't know. But I know that you can take any kind of coach and they have succeeded, and you take any other kind of coach and they have failed. So I know that there is no secret sauce. There's no just go get the CEO coach, the leadership coach, the offensive-minded coach, the defensive-minded coach. They've all mostly failed, and they've all had some instances of somebody succeeding at some point. So I don't know that there is an answer that's going to work. But I think the main point that I agree with you on is just the fact that, we have the data that whatever the issue is and whatever the answer is, I'm not seeing those two things converge on Matt LaFleur. You know what I mean? The solution to this problem. And now Harbaugh, I don't think was the answer, because Harbaugh was, very different style of coach, but had the exact same issues in Baltimore. Elite defenses, elite offenses, MVP quarterback, all that stuff. Get to the postseason, done. Suck. Garbage. So what do? I don't know. I don't know what you do. But, again, whoever has the answer out there, I just am struggling to believe that the person that has the answer is not Matt LaFleur. I like Matt. I think he's a good dude. I think the guys like playing for him. I think he's a smart, intelligent offensive mind. I think he's brilliant with quarterbacks. I think he has, built this team largely to what it is. But all that stuff is beside the point. And the point is there some kind of a glaring issue? Has that issue been persistent? And do you think Matt can fix that issue? And you're right about Quay, that, that to me, it might just be some throwaway line. I don't want to overanalyze it. Might just be him kind of being pissy about, like, whatever, dude, that was happening before I got here, so shut up. But yeah, this it's the opposite of what you want from a team in terms of buy-in. A team that believes, a team that has buy-in. What do they look like? They don't say things like that. Like, they have this attitude of, like, well, I guess we're cursed. It's a Packers curse. So, yeah, that's not great. All right, let's take our final break. We got 3 calls from Nico coming up on the other side.
Well, it's Loser Sunday. Just listen to your podcast with your Please Don't Leave song. That was great. I was actually thinking, I don't really take a break. Football's I only watch 2 sports, football and dirt bike racing. Used to ride dirt bikes as a kid, and it's just always stuck with me, and it's a lot of fun. And it kicks in, like, literally this week was their first week. So I'm on to the other sport, but you've kind of gotten me addicted to listening to podcasts. So I'm from the old era of talk radio. I used to love talk radio, but I don't think they even do that anymore. Maybe they do. I don't know. But podcasts have kind of taken up that. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of football podcasts, mostly yours. So I will stay here this off season for you, Ryan. If no one else stays, I will. But I know others will stay. But yeah, about yesterday, I don't know if I called in after the game. I might have been too mentally, emotionally unstable to do so. It was it's just a heartbreak. And yeah, like, what do you do? What do you say? How do you fix? I don't know. It literally could not have been laid out better for us to have won yesterday. They were playing like crap. We were moving the ball like freaking, hot knife through butter. Every other play, they lost somebody. I started feeling sorry. Like, dude, how many more people can you lose? I know how it feels because you've been on that end of the spectrum. But it's almost like the second half was like a dream,
Yeah.
It was like a bad dream, real bad dream. And it just it was horrible. So, we're in this whole next year, but wait till next year. Obviously, I'm going to root for whoever the Bears play against will be my new favorite team. Even if they do win a round and then they go to Seattle. Seattle looks so good. And barring massive injury, I think they might win it all. So, hey, you know what? Two things. The Chiefs aren't going to win the Super Bowl this year, so that's good.
Yep.
So I got to go. I'm home. I got to call my kids to come help me carry stuff up. But, go Pack, go, and what do you know, right? Peace out.
What do you say? What do you know? What do you say?
Hey, this is Nico here in Idaho. So, I did some running around. I didn't watch the first game. You know, I was sort of slightly depressed still. Did some running around, you know, and just honestly just driving around, doing some things kind of always makes me feel better. It's so beautiful here. And come back, and there was like a minute left of the Jacksonville-Buffalo game. And I'm like, oh, looks like Jacksonville maybe could win. I was kind of like, cool. And then, you know, we know by now how that game ended. They sort of let them score, and then Jacksonville gets the ball back. There was an INT. And as the announcer is listing all the players that aren't in the playoffs on the AFC, you know, Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, I got to thinking, I forgot how many times Josh Allen's lost in the playoffs. He's been in the playoffs, I think, 7 years straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they've made it to the AFC Championship game at least once or twice. So, he's still kicking, you know what? He's a couple years older than Jordan. Obviously, he started younger. Jordan, you know, sat a couple years. And I'm saying all that to say this, guys. We are definitely still in the hunt. We're definitely a team of prominence, you know what I'm saying? It's just, we just got to have a year where we don't have massive injuries. I really think the last, you know, 5 exits of the playoffs he's had is just because we've just lost too many people. I think if we just have Bakhtiari that one year, we win that game, you know. But so it's not over, and it sucks to not win it. But you know what? There is always next year. And I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do about the defense. You know, maybe they need to overhaul the defense a little, keep the good we have. We have a lot of good, you know. Parsons is good. Williams is good. McKinney is good. Cooper's good. Quay Walker could sometimes be amazing. He's the funny one. He's like amazing, then he's not amazing. But then I like, could we maybe, I don't know, could, you know, defend our line? We have one good pass rusher, obviously. You know, I think Luke Van Ness just kind of stepped up a little. So I don't know. You know, I don't know what we got to do. I don't coach, and I don't, you know, prospect players. But if it's fixable in 1 year by technique, let's do it. You know, and we just gotta hope that we can do it. You know, Jordan Love, he's gonna be good for a long time. Micah Parsons still only 26. He's gonna be good for a long time, and I think he's gonna be one of those Adrian Peterson freak guys that he goes and comes back and is amazing. It'll be a bummer if Dobby goes, but I mean,
I don't know why you got cut off there. It wasn't quite 3 minutes, but let me just interject because you got one more from Nico coming in here. Thought that I had as you were talking. I had mentioned how I don't know that Matt LaFleur is the fix or whatever, but I've also said I've been a Matt LaFleur defender up until this point. Why? Because something changed. Is it possible something changed for Matt LaFleur? That is to say, all the realizations that we're having about Matt LaFleur, maybe he had about Matt LaFleur or the team or whatever. Because I don't know that I mean, to some degree, sure, in terms of toughness or whatever, and I think they were making strides in that regard in some ways. But I don't think we came into this season necessarily saying we're dominant. We can't be the team that collapses or whatever. You know what I mean? Like this was a different year for us, and maybe again there were some signs over the years, but I don't think there was like the big red flashing signs and everything else like there were after this. Again, I don't know if Matt can fix this, but excuse me. That wasn't a pause for effect. That was a yawn. Is it possible, at least, if we're going to speculate, and again, since he's probably coming back anyways, we might as well speculate. Is it possible that Matt LaFleur realizes that the main priority for this year isn't, I mean, obviously you got to do your scheme thing. You got to go back and do your reviews and see what other teams did and tweak some things here and there and all that. But, you know, maybe we start looking at different priorities and we start looking at different things. And you know, it wouldn't hurt, as I'm sure we're all kind of on the same page, if we started making some coaching changes. If for no other reason than to say, I've decided we're going to go in a bit of a different direction and I need people to help me usher that in. Because same people leads me to believe that we're not, you know, necessarily making drastic changes here, you know? Or we're going to pretend to make drastic changes and pretend that the same guys in the building also happen to be the exact right people, not only for what we wanted to do last year, but the new direction we're going in this year. Same people are the exact right people. Okay, yeah, sure, I bet. I freaking bet. Okay, great. Yep, sounds good. Nico, part 3.
You know, if we could keep Dobbs and Reed and Watson, maybe let Wicks go. I kind of am done with the Wicks experiment. Not to say he doesn't have some life, but, you know. And maybe Golden will I don't know if we can keep Dobbs with all of those guys, but if we can, I think he's probably going to want a lot of money. I mean, I'm always in favor of keeping people at the right price, you know.
Yeah.
But if he does go, I think we had a little touch of Golden last night. We had a little Golden touch, right? I was very excited for him to score. I did call in when he scored because I was trying to call in and get stuff better. Maybe this loss is up to.
I kind of thought so, and I can scroll and see just a little bit of the transcript there, and of course when I see the Nico calls, it's like, okay, well I know this is going to be a happy call here, and I can kind of see like Golden, this, that, or the other. So again, I stand by my decision to skip those calls. I just after a devastating loss like that, the last thing I want is, let's go, Golden got a touchdown, this is the greatest thing in the world, I'm so happy, blah blah. Like ugh.
Me, because we were doing good until I hopped into your live stream. I got to remember that in the future, Ryan. If you do a live stream, either get in at the beginning or stay out, because unless we're getting our butt kicked, then go in and hope they don't change it that way. But so maybe this one's on me. I know when I got off, it got a little better, but not as good as it should have. So maybe it wasn't me. I don't know. But we got years of quality football ahead of us, guys. And let's just hope people don't get injured. I'm just out here on my balcony enjoying the beautiful sun, drinking some coffee. It's great. And go Pack, go.
Yeah, as I've said, we've got great players going into the 2026 season and a lot of reasons to be excited. It's just a matter of, how can we maximize it? And we'll see. Every year is completely different. And we like to pretend that it isn't, but it is. I mean, we're not even the same team from one half to the next, much less one game to the next, much less one season to the next. Look at the Lions going from first to last. Look at the Bears going from last to first. And, the Vikings and what they did, that was a complete and utter collapse. Although at the end of the season, they started to look like a good team again, which was weird because they were still bad, and I don't know what happened. So we'll see. Next year, we're going to have new things that are awesome that we didn't anticipate. We're also going to have new things that we thought would be great that are suddenly not great, and we don't like it anymore. So such is the way she goes. Beer Cheese, what's up?
Hey Ryan, Beer Cheese Benny here. Just thinking out loud here about the whole situation, and maybe you just can't fire Matt LaFleur, but again, something needs to change. Something needs to change. I don't know whether that's we get a new OC and he actually does OC things and calls plays and kind of takes that off of LaFleur. And LaFleur can still be involved. He can still help do the good things, that he's good at with the offense in play calling and scheme.
Yeah, play calling is the thing he does well. So if we take that away, we should just get a new coach. So
fine, and all this stuff like that, but we just can't keep continuing on. At the end of the day, though, it comes down to the players we have. They'll never be able to compete. And I understand, you can talk about, and I've talked about this, your offense is your greatest defense. They kept putting the defense back on the field and all of that. And I get that. But at some point, you got to man up and play the damn game. I don't care how tired you are. You either can do it or you can't. And the players we have on the field clearly couldn't do it. They couldn't handle it. So, again, that falls on Gutekunst. Do we need to look to Gutekunst? And I think he's done a pretty good job. Honestly, he's had a lot of misses, but what GM doesn't? He got us Parsons, he's got us McKinney, Jacobs, got these free agents, but we need to start drafting better. And we need to start building a better team. Man, I just hope that we can win the Super Bowl next year. I hope Kraft is back and, he doesn't lose it and Parsons still has it. Because those injuries are detrimental to guys' careers. And I know it's been easier now with how technology is or training is and getting guys back, but it can be a detriment to guys. We don't know if we're going to get a good Micah. He might be slower. Kraft might be slower. I don't know. But ultimately, something has to change. I don't know what it is, but we can't just run it back.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle blaming Brian Gutekunst for that. It could be, but it's, if I had to pick which I thought made more sense, is it, the coach not getting the most out of his players, or is the GM uniquely drafting weak-minded individuals? I don't know, man. I can't imagine that's a GM issue. Maybe, but I don't know. That's a hard one for me to wrap my head around.
Brian, it's Aaron from Eau Claire. I want to know what you think about the following names as hypothetical head coach candidates. If, and it's a big if, but if, they're trying to go in a different direction and find a new head coach. All right, the first name is Todd Bowles. I don't think he's currently employed by anybody, but has done a good job in the past with the Buccaneers and has, seems to have a lot of respect. So Todd Bowles is one. Brian Flores.
So I'll because I'm not planning on doing like a ton of super big deep dive or whatever, I'll say Todd Bowles. I don't love that. I don't think he has a super good reputation as a head coaching prospect. Flores is intriguing, but again, the whole stint with Miami was kind of awful and scares the crap out of me. What happened with Tua? The team is number one. What happened with the team and a bunch of other teams? He's suing and everything else. But also, the situation with Tua was really bad. I don't remember the exact thing, but he basically told him, like, I don't believe in you or something. Like, it was really freaking weird. And he didn't even deny it. I think he acknowledged that it happened and was just kind of like, yeah, sorry he feels that way or something. Like, I don't know, man. I don't. Again, if we were talking about defensive coordinator, maybe you could get over that stuff. But as like, can you be the leader of the team? Some guy that just like went to your quarterback and was like, you're a piece of trash. I freaking hate you. Not that that's literally what he did. I can't do that.
What he's been able to do at the Vikings defense, very impressive.
Yes.
And perhaps has a little bit more of an aggressive style of coaching with the way he does all these blitzes and stuff.
For sure.
Or more of aggressive style of defense. Okay. So there's Brian Flores. Vance Joseph from the
Another
Broncos defense.
Failed head coach.
Again, another defensive genius who has coached really, really good defenses in Denver. And Robert Saleh. I picked defensive names for no real reason, but I just don't know the offensive coordinators as well. Not as familiar with as many names, but like, would any of those names intrigue you? Is my question.
Well, yeah, and then my issue with Saleh is what happened with the Jets. And, again, the Jets were kind of a unique disaster of a situation. But I lost a ton of respect for Saleh with that and how that all went down. I mean, that was awful and terrible. I mean, just everything about that, the way he handled that, it was not good. There's maybe a little bit more intrigue there than with other people because he's a little bit more recent, and maybe his one stint as a head coach was kind of unfair. And in a better situation like in Green Bay, maybe that could pan out well. I think he has a great reputation. I think he has, he's very good friends with Matt LaFleur. And I think he and Matt both have great reputations with current coaches. So in the event of bringing over coordinators, his ability to find a DC, I think, would be incredible. I'm sure he could find some very, very good offensive coordinators as well, having, relationships with that whole Shanahan tree and everything. Matt and Kyle and all those guys. I think he would be the most intriguing, but again, that Jets thing was and it wasn't just that, well, it's the Jets, of course they suck. It was the way he handled things. It was the fact that there were so many leaks under him that everybody just kind of lost faith in him. The organization was a disaster. They were a laughingstock, and he's like going in and like confiscating people's phones, and it was a very weird and ugly and stupid situation. Still, he might be my favorite prospect of that group. I don't like, the 60-year-old retreads. And granted, Saleh technically is a retread, but I maybe I give him a second chance with the whole Jets thing, which is maybe unfair. Maybe you should do that with Vance Joseph, but I don't really remember the extenuating circumstances. I just know he was a head coach at one point, and I don't remember him being necessarily anything special. Honestly, the only reason I remember him being a head coach is from those bad lip reading videos. He was a head coach at the time, and he was I don't know why that's what sticks out, but he was one of the guys in those bad lip reading skits. So yeah, I mean, none of those get me super excited. Again, Saleh, I mean, all of them would make sense if I just didn't have prior knowledge that I don't like. All of them make a ton of sense. I think they all kind of fit what you're looking for, but they've all been tried in one way or another. In fact, I think all of them have been head coaches that you listed. And I mean, they're not head coaches now for a reason. Again, that's not to say they couldn't circle back and have a good second run. I think there have been examples of that. But, if you're forcing me to pick one, it's probably Saleh. I don't know that I'm over the moon. Without doing a little bit of a deeper dive, like I said, I don't know that I'm over the moon about any of them off the top of my head.
Hey, Ryan. Beer Cheese Benny. What's up, Packernet?
What's up?
It's the off season. Who cares? But with that being said, the off season, geez, my nose is really messed up. I think I have a sinus infection. I need to go to the damn doctor, but I gotta work. And we work early today to try to do that and get some antibiotics. Anyhow, since it's the off season, just want to promote my podcast called NASSholes. It is a NASCAR podcast. I know not everybody's into NASCAR, but I would just say, give NASCAR a chance, okay? The Daytona 500 is coming up. All right, that's like one of the biggest races. I suggest, and to anyone for NASCAR, right? Because people always say, it's just left turns.
Correct.
It's more than just that, all right? If you're starting out watching NASCAR, don't watch the whole race, all right? Because that one will probably confirm to you that it's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Because starting out watching the whole race, things kind of like take a while to materialize. Sometimes, but sometimes, they can start off with a bang. But what I'd say is try to watch the last 20, 30 laps of a race. And you'll see that it's pretty exciting. And again, check out my podcast, NASSholes, on Spotify, YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Would mean a lot. We just added a new person, actually, to our crew. So now we got 3 people. If you don't subscribe, you hate disabled people because the person that I do my podcast with, he is disabled in a wheelchair. He got crushed by a forklift.
Well done.
And so now he's in a wheelchair for life. If you don't do it, you hate disabled people. I'm just kidding, but you should definitely subscribe. So anyways, go Pack Go. And I hope that we have a good solution for next year in terms of getting a new OC. And I'm kind of starting to think that we have to keep Matt LaFleur, but maybe just don't extend him. Just let him play out the contract and play for an extension this year. He's got to win at least 2 playoff games. Amen.
That was a heck of a sales pitch. And honestly, I mean, that kind of got me thinking. I've always wanted another like sport to watch, but I hate all of them. They're all stupid. And I could probably get behind the idea. I'm not saying I'm going to do it because if I'm being honest, I'm not. But popping it on at the last minute, I mean, that's kind of how I watch everything. You know what I mean? If I'm going to watch a baseball game, or if a baseball game is interesting or good or whatever, it's because I just turned on the 9th inning or maybe the 8th inning. Is like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's about it. You know, I'm not interested in the rest of this crap. Basketball? Are you kidding me? Now, you know, if you watch March Madness in the last, you know, several minutes. Yeah, it can be okay to watch. Outside of that, though, I can't do it. So I think that's a decent enough sales pitch where it's believable. Also, the cripple thing, freaking hilarious. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, and you all have a great rest of your night. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Got a call from Benny in the off-season haze. Said his sinuses were wrecked, hadn't slept in days. Wanted to tell me about his podcast dream. 3 hosts deep, now building up steam. He said it's cold and assholes, we talk NASCAR at nights. Don't watch the whole race, just catch the final fight. Last 20 laps is where the magic lives. Subscribe. If you don't subscribe, you hate crippled people. Yeah. That's why Benny said it hit like a needle. His co-host got crushed by a forklift one day. Now he's rolling with the pod in a wheelchair all the way. All the way. Spotify and YouTube, he needs those plays. 3 nights old, strong through the off-season malaise. He said, I'm kidding, but I'm not. You know what I mean. Guilt trip smoother than a stock car machine. Do you think about the days when we watch the rain? Left turns for hours, finding our place. Finding our place. If you don't subscribe, you hate crippled people. You hate them. That's the pitch from Benny underneath the steeple. Forklift couldn't stop his partner's dream. That's Ho's podcast, NASCAR regime. Then he pivoted like turn 3 at Daytona. Said hope we get a new OC, I've been a loner. Maybe keep Halfley, don't extend the deal. Win 2 playoff games, that's the only appeal.